Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to make bass music in the style of MssingNo, mainly inspired by his tracks Brandy Flip, Caya and Dead. The project file, samples and presets are available for a small contribution in the description, although a Splice account is required to download the vocal sample. The project is also available via my Patreon, which is also linked in the description. Feel free to like and subscribe if you learned something from this video, and leave any artists you'd like me to cover in future in the comments. Our BPM is 130 and we're in the key of F minor. This is the kick, which was made from an 808. I've done some EQing here to dampen the kick mainly. Next we have the drums. I'll solo each of these individually. For the shakers, I have 3 shakers in a drum rack. Shakers 2 and 3 are in a choke group, and all of them have been panned. MssingNo's drum patterns are made up of relatively simple grime and R&B rhythms with effective percussion choices. This approach allows the melodic elements to shine through, so that's what I've tried to do here. We have this groove applied to all of the MIDI in the drums group to humanize the drums, with drum bus on the group, EQ, mainly removing some harsh frequencies, and reverb applied via Send A, which is this empty club preset. Next, we have the bass, which is a Reese bass. I've split the frequency areas here using EQ3s, and I'll link a video explaining this technique in more depth. I don't know if this is something MssingNo does, but I was having trouble controlling the sub because of the detuning, which I'll show you in a sec. And this was alleviated by using a single sine wave. For the sub, we have a sine wave taken down by 2 octaves with glide in the voicing tab, and the portamento time turns up. On the chain, we have a compressor for consistency. And an EQ. For the top, we have a saw wave taken down by 2 octaves with its unison at 7. There's a low pass filter with some drive and distortion in the effects. And don't forget the portamento, like the sub patch. On the chain, we have an EQ3 to split the frequency areas. And on the channel, we have an EQ8, removing rumble and the fundamental frequency of the kick, so the bass and kick don't clash. Bass mono, since Serum can make sounds very wide, and a sub sidechain rack. I'll link a video explaining how this works and how I made it in the description. But here you could see the kick triggering the sidechain compression. Reverb is applied to the bass via Send A. Next, we have an impact. We have some effects added, so chorus and echo. And reverb applied via A. Then we have the lead group. starting with this PWM leads. Like with many of MssingNo's melodies, this is playing a simple pattern with a non-syncopated melody. In this case, these are quarter notes. In Serum, we have a PWM waveform with its unison at 7. I think it's basically a square. LFO2 is on envelope mode and is modulating both the oscillator's pulse width and the cutoff of this low pass filter. Again, we have glide here, and in the effects, we have some distortion. On the channel, we have an echo. MssingNo uses similar ravey leads in tracks like Brandy Flip and Phones, so I wanted to have at least one of these synths. Next, we have the bell lead. This plays all the same notes from the previous melody, so anything on a quarter note, and then we have these extra eighth notes in between. Just show you them together. The bell lead is a reversed bell, and I've added distortion via wave shaper and drum bus. EQ, cutting out the mids since the melodic elements were clashing. Chorus and echo. The final lead is this melodic texture. This is made from the first lead playing the melody of the second lead, which was then reversed, sped up to double speed, and cropped to a section that repeats every 2 bars. I used the beats algorithm on 8th note mode before bringing this into the project, so it still felt rhythmic, as reversing audio can shift a sample's rhythm. I'm not sure if MssingNo uses this technique specifically, but the loop felt less interesting and a bit empty without this element. On the channel, we have drum bus, EQ, and some echo. And on the leads group, we have drum bus, bass mono, EQ, mainly to remove some harshness, plus reverb via Sende. Finally, we have the vocal, and I will link this sample in the description. The vocal has been pitch shifted, so it's in key, something MssingNo sometimes does. And we're using the complex pro algorithm because I wanted control over the formant. I ended up opting for something more chipmunky, but if you shift the formant all the way up, as I did there, you maintain more of the sample's original timbre. On the channel, we have drum bus to make the vocal dirtier with drive and dampening. EQ, minimal use of echo since the leads already had a lot of echo and things were getting quite busy. And long reverb since the vocals in some of MssingNo's tunes are quite lush. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave any questions in the comments. I'll see you next time.